What a nightmare. As soon as I got ready to do this, the internet for the whole building, and could even be more, went down, but I know all the neighbors were outside. Everybody was like, what happened? They're trying to watch movies and whatnot. Kids screaming. It's just a nightmare. But anyway, it came back up. So here I am, a little late, better late than never. This is what used to be called a pop up. Although this one did have a little bit of planning, but usually I would just sit down and just fire up the live stream. This one is a little bit planned and a little bit discussed, and the time was selected. Of course, that's not what happened. But what I wanted to do is talk about cheating. It's been a hot topic on the wall, on the community wall, because of something that I put, a meme that I put up the other day. This. It was my response to somebody that asked me, I don't what was it Quora? I don't remember. But anyway, this woman asked me, when does the partner's behavior qualify as cheating? And I, gave it some thought, and I thought about some different positions that I've held over the years on this whole topic. And then I put this together because, um, it was responding to her question. I think what's happened since then is a lot of women have told me that I'm wrong and they disagree and all this kind of stuff, and that if you're boyfriend, girlfriend, and then they dip out with somebody else, that that's cheating. And as you see, well, I'll just read what I wrote. Cheating takes place when you have made a promise of fidelity and a commitment in marriage or preparation for marriage. Notice how I link those two together, which is a spiritual and legal contract to devote yourself to the well being of someone you care for deeply. The couple acknowledge that both will focus their time, emotional, and sexual energy and resources on your chosen life partner to the exclusion of all others. Your baby daddy, your boo thing, your shack up partner, boyfriend or slash girlfriend do not qualify. This agreement is an emotional, sexual, financial, and physical contract with all terms specified and performance standards agreed upon willingly and enthusiastically by both parties. That is a key point right there. Thus, should any part of the stated contractual agreement be violated, the violation shall be construed as cheating. So that's a lot. I know that's a lot to digest. So let me leave that up on the screen and let's talk. Oh, I can't do it. I forgot I laid this out a little bit different, so I can't do it that way. Sorry about that. I just have to take that down. I forgot I put the background there so it would cover up the whole thing. But as you see, that says a lot. There's a lot of connected dots there, and a lot of relationships or situationships that women construe as something tight and meaningful as being excluded from being a situation where you can get cheated on because you ain't made that kind of commitment. It's not on that level. Now I admit that my opinion is probably a little different than most, but I think that I have merit because of the fact that you shouldn't be giving husband privileges to somebody that you're not married to. That is the number one mistake that women make. You move in with them, you buy property with them, you have kids with them, you do help pay bills with them, you help take care of their kids with them, you do all this stuff for a man that you're not married to, and then you get upset when he doesn't want to marry you. Why should he? He's already getting everything that you got to give, all the perks and benefits of being your husband. He's getting them without the commitment, without the legal ties, without any kind of agreement, really. I mean, you just a shack up. You a baby mama. He could pick up his stuff, put it in his hefty bags, and walk out the door at any time that he wants to, and won't be nothing you can say. Too many women have been in those situations, sometimes even for 20 years. And they're with the dude, they done bought the house with the dude, or vehicles or whatever. But the guy is still married to somebody else. So under the law, it doesn't matter that you helped make some notes. It doesn't matter that you gave some of the money for the down payment on the house. It doesn't matter because you didn't handle your business legally. You didn't have a contract drawn up. You didn't have to take care of business. So his wife, even though they have been together for years, finds out that he finally croaked. She rolls in there with their adult children, takes everything out the house, takes the house, sells the house, and there's nothing you can do. Why? Because you're not the wife. Now, this is a very important, this is a legal thing. It becomes a legal thing. And it's even the same thing, like if he gets hurt, he's not dead, but he's in the hospital. He can't really do anything for himself. Someone has, power of attorney, whatever. If he hasn't taken care of that, it automatically rolls to the wife, who's the next of kin under the law. So here you are, you done been with him, you got kids with him, all this stuff, but he's still married. And so she rolls in there and she makes all the decisions, including to pull the plug, and there's nothing you can say because you're not his wife. So, I mean, I gave those extreme examples because I need to make a point with you ladies so you understand when you don't have the standing of wife, you don't have anything. You just miscellaneous stray booty. That's what you are. So, you all want to be putting a whole bunch on it talking about, well, we do everything that a husband and wife does and, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's you. And that's a pretty stupid thing to do. I don't understand it, but I would like to, as you guys could put some comments across, into the type. And what am I trying to say? I'm so flustered by my lack of internet, I can't even quite get my mind right. But anyway, if you have any thoughts about cheating, feel free to type them in the chat room. I'll put them on the screen, or you can call in and talk about it. I have my headphones here, and I will be happy to plug them in. That's what happened to Mark, but I don't know who that is, but I'm sure that that's what happened because that's what happens like all the time. If anybody wants to call in to talk, here's the number. The link rather, for you to, you click it and then you can dial in and be on the show with me and tell me your thoughts on cheating. The worst situation I ever had with that. And it wasn't the guy, it was the woman who had been my best friend all through middle school and high school. And so, we already graduated from high school, we all in college and stuff. And I was home, I had this little boyfriend over the summer. And I guess, I don't know. Anyway, later, she went to his house and it was like really late at night. We used to hang out at his house all the time because his family had this giant house up on the hill and they had a ping pong table and he had music down there. They had like a whole floor where we would hang out. There was a bathroom down there and everything. Ping pong table, pool table, music. And for teenagers, that was like life. So we used to hang out there all the time through high school and everything. So I'm dating this dude, right? And so then, she used to be around him a lot and I was around her boyfriend. But she started doing this thing where, she wanted to be calling him. And so we were both like, we were all a friend group. So it wasn't really that alone because he wasn't talking about anything that was unusual, just like confirming stuff. But the stuff she could have called me for, you see what I'm saying? So it raised an eyebrow, but then it was no big deal. I wasn't tripping. But then one night he called me and he was like whispering on the phone. And I'm like, why are you whispering? And he's like, I'm upstairs. And the girl, I was not going to say her name, came over. And I'm looking at the clock. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, what's she doing at your house at 11 o'clock at night? He's like, I don't know. But she's in there and she's sitting on my bed. I want you to come over and make her leave. And he was scared because he knew. Even the young Leo, even at that age, was crazy. So I get in my car and I drive over to his house and I come in. He's like, I'm going to leave the back door unlocked so you can just come in. So that's what I did. And I come in and she's just all comfortable on his bed. And so he just like standing outside the room, just pacing and looking nervous. And so I'm like, part of me is like, why did you let her in? Okay, that's the part that got me. But then, I don't know. We were young. I was like 18 or so. So I wasn't really as sharp and evil as I am now. But I remember thinking that, well, what'd you let her in for? Why don't you just tell her to go home? It's too late to come to your house, or something like that. But we were, like I said, we were all kids, and we didn't have the presence of mind that we have more maturity and stuff as adults, and would handle things differently. So, in retrospect, I said, okay, I can see why both of us were kind of confused and just let it slide. So I waltzed in there, and man, you should have seen her face. And so later, I asked her, like, what is it that you were trying to do? And I've always been like that. I'm not going to just jump on you. I want to know why you were doing what you did before I beat your ass. You know what I mean? So I was trying to figure out. Anyway, come to find out that it wasn't about him at all. She was trying to break us up because it turned out that she was gay, which I didn't know because I had seen no signs of it all through middle school, and I don't know when this happened. But anyway, she turned out that she decided that she was gay and she liked me. So she wanted us to break up. That's what that was about. So I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I would have never thought that, but that's what happened. And that's how it almost became a situation with cheating, except for the fact that he called me all nervous and sweating. And his mother was there. I mean, all his family was there and stuff. I mean, it wasn't like he was sneaking around and they all knew who I was and they were all still up, And so, but I just still thought it was weird that he let her in, but whatever. Yeah, plot twist. Ain't that the truth? Because I was not, I mean, like I said, I'm only 18 years old. What do I know about all of that stuff? And you know how long ago it was when I was 18? So it was a different thing. I might be more suspicious now with the understanding that I have now. But at the time, I was like, what? And I couldn't think that she had a boyfriend and everything. So I'm trying to, maybe she's what now we would call bi. Maybe that's what it was. But anyway, whatever it was, she decided she liked me and she wanted to break us up. And so, that was the end of that friendship. And our friend group, it caused problems too, because that's when people start a couple of years later start getting married and having babies and want to have baby showers and bridal showers and stuff like that. And I would tell them if she's invited, I'm not going. And so it caused a lot of problems. But like I said, I'm more mature and understanding now, and now I would go. But at the time, I didn't really know what to do with that. At 18, I didn't know what to do with that, and so I just cut her out of my life. Yeah, it was very much a trip. I just didn't. I still never got really over it. That was my first betrayal at the hands of a friend. But my daddy was like, well, that end must really love you because he called you to come save him. My dad got the biggest kick out. He thought it was hilarious. But I was like, but that's my best friend though. Why would she try to hurt me like that? So you know what I mean? It was horrible. It took me a long time to get over that. But let's get back to talking about cheating. So let me put that up so some of you just wandered in and you didn't see what this show is based on, which is this graphic that I put together in response to someone's question about when is the behavior labeled cheating and when is it just, whatever. And so this was my lengthy and very detailed explanation about commitment, fidelity, and when it could be considered infidelity or cheating. And to me, having a baby daddy, shagging up, being a girl, quote, boyfriend, girlfriend, all of that, none of that counts because you're still single. You're still single. There's no thing on the U.S. Census or tax returns that say baby daddy, shacking up, cohabitating. Those aren't there. You are either married under IRS tax laws or you are not. In the church, you are either married or you are not. As any other religion, you are married or you're not. In any kind of social thing, you're either married or you're not. As far as, insurance policies and all that kind of stuff, next of kin, survivorship benefits for Social Security, all of that, you're married or you're not. So when you have all those different institutions that recognize marriage and don't recognize all this other stuff, y'all be trying to say have all this importance and you putting all these obligations and stuff on it. You try to treat these men in these other miscellaneous situations like they're your husband, having some real unrealistic expectations of them and them of you to perform at the level of a husband and wife when that's not your status. So, I always caution women not to do too much. Don't be doing all that stuff. I mean, it's hard enough when you're married these are the assumptions that people make that what you're going to assume and do and all that stuff. That's hard enough. And that should be some really detailed conversation that you have before you agree to a marriage. But if that's not even on the table, you're not anywhere near being married, then you don't owe him anything. Please understand, and neither does he owe it to you. Y'all are just kicking it. You can call yourself dating if you want to, but dating is not a serious relationship. Think of all the people that you've dated in your lifetime. Think about all this internet dating, how many one date wonders you come in and out your life. Dating is nothing, doesn't mean anything. It means it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to get to know somebody. But do you owe that person are you obligated to give that person rights like a husband or rights like a wife? I think a lot of expectations that people have are weird. Now, where does that come from, though? I was talking to some from my friends, and keep in mind, we're all in our 50s and we ain't no youngsters no more. But I was surprised at how many of them still have the attitude that they may have had when they were a teenager about men. It's not something that we really talked about. So I was just kind of sitting there scratching my head like, wow. Anyway, they have this attitude. Like, see, my thing is, I promote the Pair and a Spare dating program where a woman should keep 3 men in rotations at all times, at least 3. If you can handle more than that, then power to you. But 3 is usually a good number because you got jobs and you got other obligations and family and friends and all stuff. So usually about 3 is all most women can handle. Did I say you have to sleep with all of them? No, I did not. You can if you want to. You're wrong, but you don't have to. Because just, you on an investigation. You on a journey of exploration. Who is this man? Do you have anything in common with him? Do y'all get along? If you have a disagreement, can you negotiate that conflict so that everything ends up being a win-win? Well, how do you guys handle that kind of stuff? How do you just handle decision making? How do you distribute power and chores amongst yourself? If you go to his house, does he cooks? Do you wash the dishes? If he comes to your house and you cook, does he help clean up? Or does he sit on the couch? I mean, how did you guys handle yourselves? See, these are all things that you're supposed to be observing and assessing during the dating process. Too many women, though, focus on if he likes them, and B, if he wants to be committed to them and make a quote relationship. So they're not looking really at the man and the qualities that he has and his personality and how they click and his weird habits and his weird family and all these kinds. They don't be paying any attention to all of that, which is what you're supposed to be paying attention to when you're dating. Instead, they're focusing on what does this mean? Where are we going? And they want to try to, lock it down. When 99% of the time, he's not worth locking down. He's not even worth closing the door on. He's somebody that you should be booting out your life. So let's talk about this, commitment and cheating thing. Like I said, if you guys got a comment you want to share about cheating from your perspective, you think, okay, so this is interesting. She said men would agree, but not women. That has been the policy. I mean, generally that's true. Although there have been some men who said that, they want the woman to be loyal to them. And I'm like, okay, well, you want her to be loyal to you, or you're going to be loyal back. Radio silence. Well, we ain't married. I'm like, but then why does she owe you loyalty and you're not willing to give it? What is that about? See, that's why I really get upset with women. It's like, I just feel like, and this is what my friends were like, well, I just feel like I should only date one man at a time. I want to see how long, what this can turn into before I start with the next one. I'm like, that is so inefficient. That's an inefficient use of your time. It's like going to a grocery store and you only pick up one ear of corn and you don't look at none of the other ears of corn because the other ears of corn might be better. You're paying the same price for them. Why not look at several of them and pick the one that's the best, the freshest, the largest? Why would you get the one that you don't just grab the first one that you see and then you open it up and it might have a worm in it or something? And now it's too late. You got to go all the way back to the store to change it for a different one when you could have just stayed there and rifled through them or took 2 or 3 of them home at the same time anyway. So it's just real interesting how many women think like that. But yeah, that particular guy that I was talking to, he just got upset that I even suggested such a thing, that a woman should have multiple men in her life or multiple lovers, and that's not right. That's she's the S word and she's the H word and she's all these other kind of stuff. But he's the one who want to do the same thing. But it's all right for him, but not for her. So see, that's why like you ladies, come on now, you got to think about this kind of stuff. After 3, you forget their names. You might. Oh, thank you. She says she approves this message. Yeah, this is just really hard for a lot of women. And I thought, where do you guys think this comes from? This is my thought. I think that it originates from when we're growing up. The nice thing, the word that I say, nice needs to die. I think it's part of the nice programming that women get. Because, nice girls don't be sleeping with multiple men. Nice girls focus on one dude at a time. And nice girls know that if you sleep with more than one dude or too many dudes, that, you're going to get a reputation and people are going to think all this stuff about you and all this other stuff here. And I'm like, who cares? Because, the other thing about it is like, even Okay, say you're a woman in your 30s or something, and you finally find a man to get married. Trust me, he's gonna expect you to know your way around his body and to be able to do some magic once you all hit the sheets. So you sitting up there with one dude at a time, and you that might be maybe two dudes a year because you just wait, going as far as you can go with one dude instead of just dating around and eliminating the ones right away that are stupid and filling that slot with somebody else. And like I said, I'm not saying that you have to sleep with them. I'm saying you should have that many dudes in rotation so it's more efficient use of your dating time. You get through more, you have more opportunities to meet more different men and screen out more fools faster. Because all it is dating is anyway is kind of a numbers game. You got to keep kissing a lot of frogs so you reach find that prince. So, just kiss as many frogs as you can as fast as you can and just move them out till you find your prince. To me, it's far more efficient to do it my way. And plus, since you ain't treating them like husbands, you're not getting depleted, which is a problem. So many women come to here, and you see in a chat we talk about dating. They're like, "Oh, I'm just exhausted from dating." It's not. It's like you do too much, and you give too much to these men in relationships where you're not married. And it's bad enough when you are, like I'm saying, but at least when you leave when you're married, you take half. So you get a little compensation for your trouble. When you just a shack up baby mama girlfriend, you don't get nothing except a headache. You get nothing, but you've given everything of yourself as if you were a wife. I don't understand that logic, and you all playing yourself cheap like that. You reduce your own value in the marketplace like that. When a dude can just roll into your life and you start cooking, cleaning, and serving him up and getting pregnant by him and all kinds of stuff, and he hasn't had to do any work to make that happen. You just giving it up to him. Y'all need to rethink how you handle yourself and how you handle this dating stuff. Is really not smart. You don't be doing all of that for men. And I don't care if he says what he expects. Are you expecting to be married? If he says, well, no, it's too soon for that. And, well, I don't know, I'm just trying to, anything he says other than yes with an engagement ring and a date well, then that's not, you don't get that. That's reserved for husbands. You don't want to be a husband, but you just want to roll in somebody's life and start telling what to do and trying to regulate on folks. No, but y'all be letting them do it. Please. You wised up? That's good, Peach Life. That's good. Very good. It's like you got to look at this differently, ladies. And you're going to let people just come. I mean, okay, and then just say, you're 30, 40 years old. And so you've been dating, since you were like in college, right? High school, college, whatever. So, you've dated multiple men. Are you supposed to be thinking in your mind that you're going to treat every one of those men like he's a husband or husband material? You're going to be doing all that stuff for him? When do you think about yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? Why are you giving so much to people who are undeserving, who haven't earned it, who aren't giving you what you need in return? Please value yourself more. So let's talk about something. I'm going to go over some of the comments that came in. I copied them down from the wall. Okay, Perfect Nail said, I've learned that it's best to detach my feelings from people, especially in the early stages of dating. That's smart. It took me being ghosted to do that. Now I realize that people will and do walk out for absolutely any reason. They have the right to do that. And that's very true. In my ghosting video, which I will try to remember to link to after this is over, did a whole video about ghosting because so many women were just like foaming at the mouth, mad that they got ghosted. And they should talk to you and this and that and blah blah blah. They had all these again expectations on someone who's not their husband. You just dating somebody, they don't owe you shit. Okay? They don't owe you nothing. I'm sorry. I don't care if you've been with them 2 years, 5 years, whatever. You're not married. Okay, you're still single, and so is he. And that part women just couldn't seem to grasp that. But we live together. Okay, are you married? Well, no. Well, that means you're still single. Because y'all be paying half and stuff. What he is could be another woman, except you screwing him. That's the only difference. So he's getting that benefit, but everything else you going half and everything. He may as well be a female roommate. for all the benefits he brings to you, right? Okay, then there's those, well, but we have a baby together. Okay, and when does that ever stop the man from going on to the next woman doing what he want to do? Please explain that to me. All you did was mess up your life and your opportunities by breeding with some miscellaneous stray fool. That's what you did. You gave husband privileges to a Buster Dusty. That's what you did. Okay, so again, why did you do that? Or, they want to date this dude and then they let him move in. A month, no, 2, 3 months, they let him, he moving into their house. And then the dude hits him with, well, you was already paying everything, so why should I have to pay anything? And you sitting up there just stuttering because why? You didn't handle your business. You didn't make up an agreement. And then the main thing is, I just really don't think men should be moving in with women, period. If you live with a man, he should be providing the housing. Why should he be doing that? Because that's what husbands do. So you preparing to be married, right? You all got the ring going and you about to get married, and then you move in with him. Well, that would make sense. But just to be moving in with one dude, the next dude, the next dude, the next dude, just to be living with somebody just because you screwing them, I mean, what is that? Why would you do that? And in the meantime, you performing all these wife services for somebody again that you're not married to. Y'all, come on now, think. What value do you have if every man that comes into your life, you treat him like he's married to you, but they're not? You thinking it's meaningful because y'all moved in together. It don't mean shit except you just being stupid. That's what that means. You're giving away all the perks and benefits of being married to you to somebody that you're not married to. It makes no sense. Yes, a Buster Dusty, honey. Those are the worst kind. Yeah, playing house, exactly. And I know some young people do it, like college age, whatever, they do it because they want to save money. But again, you don't have to live with a man to do that. You can have female roommates. You can live with a relative. One of my cousins, when he was going to college, he moved in with my grandma. Or, well, let's see, it was our great grandmother. He moved in with her because she was, older, and even though she was very independent and everything, it was still nice that she had some young person there to help her run errands and drive her to the doctor and just do stuff around the house. And it worked out well for both of them. So he was able to live there, and the house was quiet, and he got to study well, and she didn't interrupt him. And then if they wanted company, they could watch movies together, cook together. I mean, it worked out really well for both of them. And she was very happy with the setup until the day she died. And I thought that was really good utilization of the space for an older person to be in there with a younger person. But I just want to put this out here because I want ladies to rethink this whole thing about how you handling yourself. And I know society is going in this direction. And I know people tell me all the time, well, you're so old fashioned. I'm not old fashioned in that respect because I say date 3 men at the same time. That's not old fashioned. Old fashioned is to just deal with one at a time routine. That's what y'all do. I keeps them in rotation. Plus, most of them get on your nerves anyway. So as soon as they get on my nerves, I'll be like, oh, next. I have an opening in my roster. Okay, so let's read the next one. So the Perfect Nail said that. So then this young lady says, she was referring to my graphic. She says, I personally expanded to a mutually agreed upon monogamous and committed relationship. Not necessarily just for those about to get married or already married, but I understand your logic. Your version leaves less of a gray area. So I, just clarified that fidelity means monogamous. It's the same word, just, you over there in the thesaurus picking out a different term, but it means the same thing. So then Daily Dose came and says, well, why commit though if there's no legal binding marriage? What are you committing to exactly? Bam. And that's the question. What if you're not married? What are you committing to? Anybody have an answer? Anybody have an answer? If you're not married and that ain't really on the table because y'all haven't been together, or sometimes they even just tell you they're not interested in marriage, but you are, right? You are, and then you just go along with his program and a commitment. What are you committing to exactly? It's another comment. Oh, he sent you a picture of his place and invites you over. Is this supposed to be a first date? That's kind of raggedy. Yeah. I understand that it's very bad and people are feeling, some kind of way, I guess, coming out of the pandemic where everybody was at home by themselves. People are anxious to get back out and socialize with other people. Hmm. Yes, they do think that. But yeah, that's not just black women though. They totally clown on women of all races like that. It's just a man thing, I think. Hmm. But see, my thing is, the future faking only works. Oh, she says committing to the future. What future? Have you talked about that? Are there plans being made? Let's talk about that. Let me deviate from what I was going to say. Actually, let me put her comment back up here so I can stay focused because you know how I tend to go off off track. Committing to the future. Now, what future? The only way that you know that there is, and I want specifics. I want to know dates. I want to see bank accounts where you saved up to make this happen. I want to see, you know, the place that you buy in the process of buying. Let me see them papers and when is it closed? These kinds of things. I mean, tangible evidence that a future is in the works with this man. If you sit there and you agree to a commit to somebody and he ain't saying nothing, you haven't seen nothing tangible, no plans that are firm, he just talking, just running off at the mouth, you getting played. That's what that is. You are buying into smoke and mirrors. You are being sold wolf tickets just enough to keep you on the stream, giving him what he wants, and you're not going to get nothing but a bunch of conversation. That's what that is. That happens to a lot of women. Because y'all like to listen to what men say instead of watch what they do. Some man talking about, yeah, yeah, we going to get married and stuff. It's like, well, when is that going to happen? When are you getting the ring? What date are we talking about here? What you got in place? Where we going to live at? Because we're not living in my house. You want to be the man. You're supposed to be providing a residence. So what's the plan here, sir? Well, you asking too many questions. I don't know. I don't know yet. Well, then don't expect me to commit to you until you have some answers. Because until then, I'm a free agent. That's the term I always use, free agent. And basically, that means I'm single and unattached. I mean, I might like you and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, so I could like 10 other dudes too. Each one of them different for different reasons, you know? Yeah. Exactly. You need details. And it should, like I said, it should be a plan. Like if that dude comes and he's like, okay, I'll tell you what my husband did. I mean, after I finally said yes, because I guess he already had all this in the works. I didn't know because I kept saying no, right? So he was remodeling his house. He was, put money in the bank. He was already investing and putting together a college fund for our future children. This kind of stuff. This is what I'm saying. The man had a damn plan and he didn't wait for me to do it, to help him do it. He did it by himself. And he already owned his house. So we had to remodel it so change the layout and stuff and make it more, family friendly. But that's what I'm talking about. When a man comes with a plan, as soon as I said yes, he was like, bam, this is what we gonna do. You can't do anything but respect that. And it takes all the worry that you guys be having, all the energy that you spend trying to come up with plan B, C, D, and what if this, and I know he ain't gonna fall through, so I'm gonna put this contingency plan in place. If you got a man who's got his shit together and he's handling business like a G, you're not gonna have all those worries. And that's when you get to relax into your femininity. And yeah, you can still work and do all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to worry about the foundation being covered because he got that. And he's gonna tell you, I got this. I got everything, everything's in place and it's working. I'll ask your input for as we move along, this and that, blah blah blah. But when he proposes to you, when he comes at you with wanting you to be his woman, he's already got some shit in place so that you know what you're signing on for. You know what you're committing to, and you know what your future is gonna look like. That's when a dude has got his shit together, and that's how you know when he really wants to be with you because he's making the shit happen. It's not just conversation. If you got a dude that's all he's doing is talking, and you giving him all this commitment and all this stuff on a wish and a prayer and hope and dreams, then you're being real stupid, ladies. You're not taking care of yourself. You focus on him. Telling him you want to get married is not the same as discussing marriage between the two of you. Well, it's the beginning of the conversation, Robin. Let me put it that way. Because I mean, if you're kicking it with somebody, oops, I accidentally clicked this. But well, he's supposed to $50. He's not because it's not. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. Let me get back up to where Robin's comment was. I lost it now. She said that's not sexy or romantic. Well, I lost where I was with Robin's comment. Dang it. But anyway, let me see if I can find it right quick. God, you guys have a lot of comments. Yeah, I saw, don't let some man move in with you. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, so she was like saying that you don't want to get married, something, but see, it has to become a conversation at some point. It's not like you just go magically decide to get married. There has to be a conversation. You're two mature adults, and the plan for the future is I would like to be married and have 2.5 children by the time I'm 35. Okay, that's your plan. So you kicking it with dude, and you think, okay, this is going pretty well. Okay, with this one over here and this one over here, I like him, but he's got some issues. And that third one, I think I'm gonna get rid of him and then replace him with the next one. Okay, so then dude number one rolls up with his plan, right? And you still got number two and number three in rotation, but number one got a plan. He's like, bam, this is what I want to do with you. And I would want to get married. I like what you said about getting married. That's what I want to do too. I want to have, a wife and a family, and I'm glad to hear that you're on that same page. Well, then it would be appropriate to tell him. But just to go on like date number one with some clown you met on the internet and start talking about, I want to get married. You don't say stuff like that because it makes it sound like you want to get married to him. That's how he's going to interpret it. So you don't want to do that. That's not the move to make. Okay, let me go on down here and talk about some more of these. So yeah, why commit if there's no legal binding marriage, she says. And Destiny says, why did I staple this together? Destiny says, I said this to someone and they went all the way off. I feel the exact same way. That's why under relationship status, there is no quote dating or quote in a relationship status. I'm single till I'm married. That doesn't mean to say disrespectful or cruel things though. So then I told her, that put a ring on it wasn't a catchphrase for nothing. Because me and I was talking about how women used to be in the old days and they forgot that that shacking up and having babies all out of wedlock and stuff, that wasn't happening. Because her family would come and you would have a shotgun wedding so that the baby would be born into a marriage. So, you didn't get to just be a baby daddy in them days. You had a wife. And y'all could get a divorce later. But when the kid was born to Mr. and Mrs. And that's how society used to be. So, all the stuff about loyalty and fidelity and, not cheating on me and all this kind of stuff. You ain't nobody's husband, so you don't get that perk. You don't get that right. That's denied you. So, she get pregnant, just go ahead and get you a DNA test and make sure it's yours. But other than that, you don't have no power, home skillet, because you ain't nobody's husband. So you don't have no rights to say nothing about what she does with her body or her time. You don't. Oh, thank you. These days, marriage doesn't guarantee much. Well, that's true too. But it's still better to leave a marriage than to leave a baby daddy. Because when you leave a marriage, you leave with half. When you leave a baby daddy, you don't leave with nothing but some crushed hopes and dreams and a baby that you didn't have to have. So there's a big difference. Let me see what else is on here. Yeah, Winning says you are single till he puts a ring on it. Exactly. Of course, I had to reference Runaway Bride. Well, she had an engagement ring, all right, but she headed down the aisle. Technically, you walking down the aisle, you still single. Just identified my girlfriend who made that Yui and hot-footed it right up out that church numerous times, because that's who she was. She wasn't about to. She wasn't trying to get married. So, really, I mean, seriously, even while you're walking down the aisle, you still single. I mean, a lot of people are kind of adopting the marriage attitude, which is normal because you're in that mode. Once you become engaged, you're moving towards marriage. But, these people want to stay engaged for 5 or 6 years with their little shut up ring now. If you get engaged, I mean, short of you having to finish college or save money for a big wedding or, I don't know, what do people finish getting their license? I mean, there's sometimes people have goals that they want to finish before they actually, get married. But to me, you should, if you get engaged within a year, you should be married. And that's allowing for the biggest wedding ever. There's no need to be engaged for 5 years, 3 years, all that kind of stuff. That's just a waste of time. You're his surrogate mother? Dang. Well, you kind of have a point. The way they expect all this nurturing and stuff is true. Because they don't talk about it. She needs to nurture me. And I need a warm place to cry and stuff like that. Ooh, terrible. Oh, she says, I get your point. However, we don't seem to marry in the black community. Girl, yeah, if you want to marry just a black man, there's a whole world out there. You're not limited to black men. I mean, I know a lot of you that's your favorite choice. I mean, because we want somebody to look like our daddy. I mean, it's just kind of an imprint or something, like a baby duck. But in reality, love doesn't know a color. Respect doesn't know a color. Passion doesn't know a color. Morals and values don't know a color. So if you meet somebody that you click with, and most times that's more socioeconomic, really, than it is race-based, because people of certain income levels, certain brackets, travel in certain social circles. They have certain kinds of hobbies and interests, so they tend to run together and meet each other. So you know, I think that has more bearing on who we choose than the fact that somebody's got the same paint job. Like I said, my best boyfriend that I've ever had in my entire life was Japanese. I think about him a lot. It's like, dang, why wasn't I have more sense and more courage to go back to Japan with him? I just didn't do it. But I kicked myself probably at least 50 times for not making that choice. I mean, my husband was good too, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just really liked that guy. But I was just too scared. Once he left, I was too scared to leave, like my family. So I think I was just too young yet. And I hadn't really, separated from them yet. But I mean, the way talk to you, treat you, take you out, respect, conversation, fun, um, romantic, sexy as hell. I mean, he was like a 10 on all fronts. And the worst problem we had was that he was learning English, so the communication was a little bit shaky. But that was the best man that I've ever been with. So I would never tell anybody to stay necessarily within your own race. That doesn't. You're really limiting yourself like that. Go for the human connection. Don't go for the race connection. So you want to get married. It's like a lot of black women are having success marrying men of other ethnicities. So I mean, be brave enough to give it a shot. Don't limit yourself like that. See, God would have had me a whole bunch of blazing babies. Yeah, broaden your horizons. That's all you got to do. See what she say? Do you agree that men know if a woman is marriage material within months of dating? Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He knows not only if you marry, but he knows if he would want to marry you, if you're marriage material for him, not just marriage material in general. Because sometimes they'll say that you're married, but they don't want to mess with you because they're still in home mode, and so they're not, really trying to do all that. So they'll pass you by. But you dealing with some dude, and he's like, Yeah, I say within 90 days they know. Now that doesn't mean that they're ready to do anything about it. Like they're not trying to like walk down the aisle in that fourth month or anything like that. But he knows. He knows if you made the cut or not. Most of them know, I think, within a couple of weeks. But I'm just giving them 90 days just because. But yeah, I think they all know. They know. So that's why I always say women who stay with dudes for 5, 10 years instead of waiting for him to propose are just wasting their time. And the thing I keep drumming into you guys is like every couple of weeks I have to repeat this. Time is finite. You only have so much time in this life. Why would you waste it, even 1 second of it, on somebody who's not going to be what you need them to be? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? If he was Colombian, oh wait, I have to see this. He was 11 years old and wasn't attracted to him, but he was great. Well, no, you have to be attracted to him, otherwise it doesn't count. I mean, it counts, but it makes for a horrible long-term relationship if you're not attracted to the man. You got to be physically attracted to the man. You also got to be mentally and emotionally attracted to the man, and then you have a great relationship. Even and as long if it's mutual, then I mean, no matter what little hiccups come in the road, you guys you're more focused on maintaining the relationship and your connection to each other than you are being right. And when you have two people who are focused on their relationship, they make it. They do make it long term. They are the couples who could make it 40 or 50 years and be happy, you know. But if you're not really attracted to a man physically like that, you're not gonna want him to touch you, and it's gonna make for a very odd odd relationship when you be running from him when he's trying to get busy and you find every excuse in the book. That's not gonna work. You want it so that yeah, you want it so that it's mutual. You all over each other. So that's when it's the best. Yes, a surprise show, Kristen. It's what we used to call a pop up, which almost didn't happen because my internet went the whole area's internet went down right before the show. It stayed down about 20 minutes and then it magically came back up. Okay, so this one says, oh, why did I didn't get all of it. Anyway, she says, I kind of agree, but my thing is, if you're unfaithful while you and your partner are committed before being engaged, then what's the ring gonna do? Magically turn them faithful? If there's no cheating involved, then I can get with this, but I feel a lot of people use that. And then I got cut off. I don't know what it was supposed to say. But I tried to explain to her, why you're committed. What are you committed to if you're not engaged already? You're just dating, like I said. You can't be committed like that. That makes no sense. You're just a casual dating person. And that person, just like I suggest doing, the parent is parent, can do the same thing with 2 or 3 people at the same time. And there's nothing you can say because you are not married. You're not even engaged. There's no conversation of that kind of stuff. You know what a boyfriend is? A boyfriend is merely someone that you have decided is going to be your only bed buddy. That's all a boyfriend is. So, women be putting too much on it. And it's like, why would you tie yourself down like that? That's, again, a husband role. You're single. You don't have to be tied down to him for any reason, nor does he have to be tied down to you. That's the thing that drives me crazy. So you got these women, right? Okay, so you dealing with some dude and y'all ain't had none of this conversation that I'm talking about. You haven't had. You don't know where it's going, what his goal is. You don't know nothing. But here you are, you doing all this stuff, and you giving him all this time, energy, and attention, and commitment, and loyalty, and fidelity, and all this stuff. You giving it all to this dude based on the fact that you like him. Okay, then remember the letter the other day in the advice column where the girl, I mean, not yesterday in the DNN, where the girl said after 7 months of what she thought was dating, the dude asked her, how come she don't have a boyfriend? That ties this up in a nutshell. Exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all be all loyal to somebody who's not being loyal to you. There's no conversation about it, and that's not even that kind of party. But you only dealing with dude. It's just too much. What's she say? Say, take a drink and do the do and get the bag. They say that? Wow. It's not like that either. Get the bag. That's like prostitution. No, I'm not going to recommend that. I'm not going to recommend that either. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting that they would promote that to people. Well, I mean, it's people all over it with all kind of crazy ideas with platforms. That's all I can say. So be careful what you listen to because some of these people are crazy. They have really odd, odd thought processes. And it's my thing is like, if you just want a man for his money, I mean, they had on sites where people, them sugar baby sites or something like that. I mean, and those guys know that that's what the deal is. And that's why they on the site because that's what they looking for. So why not do that? I don't understand. Yeah, I did. I know I told you guys, well, you guys might not remember. When I was in San Jose one time, I saw this dude. I still remember that dude. You know how Denzel walks? You know how Denzel has that swag walk where he kind of does his shoulders from side to side? I saw this white dude who was walking just like him. And this guy was like all covered in tats. Looked like he just got out of prison, but you never know. And he had parked his motorcycle right, and he's walking. So I'm down, I'm following him because I'm like, well, we happen to be going in the same direction, but he caught my attention. So then we get to the corner and stuff, and I was like, hi, you're cute. I like how you walk and this and that. And he nice beard and everything. And he got all blushed and everything. And I said, you walk like Denzel Washington. Did anybody ever tell you that? And he was like, no. I said, well, go on. The light changed, right? I said, well, go on over there and start walking so I can admire this view from the back. And he turned beet red, but he was grinning all over himself. And he was walking. He was looking back to see if I was looking, and I was looking too. I was like, oh, look at him. He had his nice boots on and his tight little jeans, and he was working it. And I was like, oh my God. But that's something, nice looking men can come that you will be attracted to can come in any color, any age. I mean, you want to keep within reason. You don't want to go too young. And I'm not about the old man myself. Even if I'm old, I still don't be liking it. But it was just interesting, very interesting. So there's an expectation of faithfulness. Why? What does your in love have to do with anything? You know how many times I be in and out of love in a week? Being in love, I mean, you can have them expectations if you want to. But what I'm saying is, since you're not married and you're not even engaged, then don't be upset if he dips out with some other woman. And he doesn't have the right to be upset if you do the same thing. Because you know what? In love don't mean shit in the real world. You need more than that to make a relationship work. In love is just romantic fluff. It means nothing in the real world. It's not even really the good thing to base a good marriage on either. I mean, it's nice to have it, don't get me wrong, but it requires a lot more to make a marriage work, like people being able to work together. People who have good conflict resolution skills. People who have wonderful communication. Like, look at all the relationships that get written in about the advice column. They in love too, and they don't need to be together. Okay, so in love to me doesn't mean shit. That's just romantic drivel. And people can have expectations of whatever they want to have about they being in love. That don't mean nothing to Deborah. So they in love, what they gonna do about it? See, again, the words don't mean anything. What is the action behind this being in love, other than tying you down so that you only screwing him? That's what that means. Expectation of faithfulness. That means that he's the only one tapping it. But what else is happening? Like I said, that's all a boyfriend is. The person that you've decided to be your solo sex partner, the only one. That's all that boyfriend girlfriend means. And most of the time, it's some sick, twisted, weird, codependent, abusive, narcissistic garbage going on in the relationship that you shouldn't be together based on what comes through the advice column. You know what I mean? So it's like y'all, think more. The girlfriend trap, that's a good way to put it. You mean young Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt now is looking kind of rugged. And I'm like, yeesh, that's not cute. But I just So what, you in love? So what's that got to do with anything? How's that changing your life because you in love? What's he bringing to your world because you in love? Other than you just tying yourself down to somebody that you're not engaged or married to. I, I, I just don't understand it. Okay, let me go back to these comments. Um, okay, so some by Brown Serenity asked, well, what about if you don't have any desire to be married, though? I think that the boyfriend slash girlfriend titles are very juvenile, so I don't use them. However, if a man or woman or man, woman want to be in a committed relationship, they discuss it and dang, I cut it off again. I think I remember this one where they discuss it and they decide, that they're going to be in a committed relationship. What about then? I was like, you do what you want to do. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that you can't do that and that they won't mean it or anything. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is then don't be surprised when they dip out with someone else because of the fact that you're not married. So no matter what kind of quote commitment you have based on nothing, because those kind of commitments when you're single, you know what it's based on? It's just based on the fact that this is somebody that I just want to screw, and I'm only going to screw this person. That's what they want you to be, their girlfriend, so they can lock you down. I remember when I was growing up, my daddy told me something. He was, most of this games I be talking about and stuff, I learned from him. I still can't figure out how my parents got together because my mom was this Miss Goody Two Shoes, church going, French club chick, and my dad was just a rogue street just nigga. Okay, that I can't even say. He just that's something, but he made sure his family was taken care of. That man worked so hard, and he was very successful considering he didn't have much education. But I mean, he owned all kinds of property. I mean, he was a real go getter. So I learned my work ethic from him. But I'll never forget, when I was a teenager, and one of my little friends in high school got pregnant, and so her parents made her get married. So she's like 17 years old. She got married to this guy. And my father I was like, why does she want to get married? 'Cause I'm like, married? Ooh. And he's like, well, you know what marriage is from the man's point of view? And I knew, I knew it was going to be something I didn't want to hear because he was always hitting me with them zingers. I said, I'm like, what, Daddy? What is marriage? From the man's point of view, it's like you meet a woman who you don't want nobody else to screw her, just you. And you know that in order to get that, you have to take care of her financially. You got to provide for her in order to make this all mine dream come true. He said that's what marriage is. It's just a man staking a claim on somebody's, well, he used another word for it, but that's all it is. So he said, women, let's talk about, prostitution and stuff. And he's like, that's what marriage is. It's like the biggest whole game ever. And he told me that. I'm telling you, and it just like blew my mind. I didn't quite know what to do with that at 16, but that's the way he described it. He seemed to be real matter of fact and analytical about the whole thing. When you think about it, I think how many women do get married to be in committed relationships stuff, and they still paying half. Okay, according to my dad, they're being real stupid and they're violating the rules and they're not valuing themselves high enough. So I was like, wow, is that the deal here? Yeah, but my dad, I don't know. My daddy taught me stuff that I probably just didn't really want to know. Because a lot of times, you have them like fantasies and stuff. He just took out a big old pen and was like, pop, 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 to them little dreams that I had. But, by the time I went off to college, I knew all the game. And so it wasn't too much going on. But I have to credit that to him. So a lot of what I tell you guys between his stuff and then what I learned, as I've gone through life myself and observed. And then my big brothers, they watching them at work too, put it all together. And that's when I talk to you guys, that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing those experiences and those lessons. But you think about it, huh, Marsha? Isn't it kind of true, though? I mean, as much as it sounds, there's a big ick factor to it. It's kind of true. That's exactly what happens. So, the wife is the one that gets the big payoff, the big diamond ring that's worth $10,000 or something, and then the house and the cars and the bills paid and all that stuff. He's doing all of that because he wants to lock down coochie, that coochie. He wants that coochie all to himself, and so he's willing to marry it and take it off the market. So those of you who are taking yourselves off the market with commitments that you don't have no ring, you don't have no house, you don't have no car, you don't have no bank accounts, you don't have no credit cards, you don't have anything because he's not taking care of you, you're taking care of yourself. But you're giving him wife energy. You're giving him wife privileges. You're giving him wife loyalty. You're giving him wife fidelity. You're giving him wife services. You're cooking and cleaning for him. You're giving him your body. You having babies for him. You're doing shit backwards. You balling backwards. So, it's like, well, I want to have kids even if I'm not married. Well, you could do that. You could do that. But in the grand scheme of things, does that make sense to do that? Yeah. 16. Oh, he was in my ear way before that. Like, I don't know. I think right around start when I was around 13, he started telling me stuff. Because, it's not like you can just dump it on somebody all at once. I mean, it came bits and pieces as I got older. Because as I got older and started experiencing stuff and, having little boyfriends and stuff, then he was telling me more. So it was like layers of information over years, years' time, many years' time. Yeah, every woman is paying half exactly. And I just don't understand that. So to me, it's like if you got to pay half, that means he's a roommate. So why are you giving him wife services? I keep saying I want you guys to understand. I'm not trying to be mean to you. This whole conversation is designed to wake you up and to think more highly of yourself. And to not think that you have to earn some man's love by giving him everything that you got in order to keep him around. Let him go. Let him go use somebody else up. If you value yourself, there should be no way that you should be signing on for any kind of shit like that where you paying half like a roommate, but yet you giving him all these wifely services for free. I wish I would. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But if they meet that one who they want to lock down because they don't want nobody else to get it, that's when they get married. So, but it's like it's a combination of things. It's not just that. It's like your energy, how he feels when he's around you. That's what he's locking down. So it's more to it than just that. But my dad, of course, is gonna make it real simplistic and ghetto. But there's more to it. Like the respect and admiration that he has for her, and the desire for her to be the mother of his children and to introduce her to his family and friends, and just to just be around her all the time. That's why I'm not into this living together thing for that same reason. Again, you giving wife energy and privileges to someone that you're not married to. He hasn't made that kind of commitment to you, and if you get married and you pay half, you're stupid. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I wouldn't be in a relationship with some man when I'm paying half. I'm definitely not being married to somebody when I'm paying half. That's not gonna happen. Oh man, they still got booty then too. They just when the woman got pregnant though, they had to get married. That's the only difference. Remember the term shotgun weddings? That's when that happened. Are paying all the bills, or half, and are not married. They baby mamas. Yeah, see, no, yeah, they're losing big time. You should send them the link to this show so they can kind of wake up and get a clue. I don't understand it, but it's like seems like some like the programming that young ladies are getting, that this is how they have to be, in order to quote get and keep a man. I'm thinking throw that stinky little fish back. Hmm. The men are not even working. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. What's going on, ladies? What's going on that you think that that's something that you need to be doing? even if if you both are working, because some, like, okay, like he could take care of all the stuff, but it's going to put you at a certain kind of income level or a certain lifestyle. Sometimes people don't want to do that because, say, they want to get money together faster because they want to buy a house. You got to come up with this $30,000, $40,000 down payment. Well, two people working is going to make that happen faster than just one, right? Or you want to get a new car next year, or two, you want to put your kids in private school, stuff like that. Well, if both people are working, then these kind of things can happen because there's more money coming into the household. But it should never be a situation where the woman is paying half. Like, oh, I'm paying half. It's just that her money contribution increases the size of the pot, and then they can do other stuff, better stuff for their kids. They can afford music lessons, dance lessons. They can buy, tutoring and after school programs. They can send their kids to summer camp for a week or two. They can join the Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or stuff. They can do things. They can go on family vacations to Disneyland or Disney, stuff that you couldn't afford to do with just one salary. That's fine. But if you got this titter tat thing, well, the light bill came in and it was $150, and I need your check for your 75. Or this part of the rent and the mortgage, you need to pay your half, and this kind of stuff. No, nope, 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 nope. And I definitely would not be paying nothing for no man paying his bills and stuff like that. Let me see if there's some more comments here to talk about what we were talking about here. Okay, so Anu says, add to those who don't believe in marriage. However, you have made a verbal commitment to promise each other fidelity. Too many women give fidelity to men when they do not pledge the same to you. What are you pledging on? What are you pledging on? Coming from a law firm background, legal, working in law firms and stuff, and my youngest brother's an attorney too. Verbal agreements don't mean shit. Okay, try to take that to court. Well, he promised me he was gonna not cheat on me, and they will laugh you up out of there. That's why you have marriage vows, because that's the legal agreement that provides you with protection as the mother and the wife. If something goes awry in the contract which you have agreed upon, which is your marriage vows, is violated, you have recourse. You have legal remedies. You get alimony, you get child support, you get half. Because he violated the agreement. Same thing in reverse. She violates the same thing. So, I don't really see what the advantage is to be talking about, well, we made a commitment and we said. That don't mean nothing. That means nothing. Oh yeah, this girl, she got mad at me. She got mad and she's like, God is cut off again. I thought I explained. Anyway, she says that I disagree because if someone sent you a letter telling you her boyfriend was talking to multiple women online and she caught him still effing the baby mama and she stayed because she believed he owed her nothing, you would call her stupid and ask why something, but it got cut off. And, so she said that that's how I would do. And I explained that that's not how I would do. Because I would be like, he's dating multiple people. Y'all ain't married. You a baby mama. You can see that whatever commitment you thought you had is not the case. So why are you not dating around too? I mean, it's like you don't have that kind of commitment with him, obviously, because you're not engaged and you're not married. I don't know. I don't get it. And then this one says, I have to disagree with you because when you have a boyfriend, they most certainly expect and want loyalty and refraining from entertaining other men. It's only natural to want that in return as a woman, because only the women are usually loyal and not the men. And so I was like, well, yeah. So since you know that, and you thinking he wants all this loyalty and commitment just because he's a boyfriend, you tell him no. That's not in the boyfriend envelope. That's in the husband envelope. You over there in the boyfriend envelope, and you got to stay in your envelope with the mere expectations and benefits that you get, which is you get to spend time with me when you ask if I'm free, and then I say yes or no, and then we go out and we talk and we do what we gonna do. That's all you get. You don't get to dictate nothing about you don't get to ask me where I am. You don't get to ask me what I'm doing. You don't get to ask me who's on my phone. You don't get to ask me any questions because you're not a husband. And I think if more women, kind of had that barrier and started telling these guys about that, they wouldn't have those expectations. They only had those expectations because they're going to throw it out there and see if you're going to be dumb enough to do it. That's what that's all about. Because they know when women get their emotions involved, you stop thinking. You don't be thinking about what's fair and what's right and what's best for you. You think about, oh my God, I want to have a relationship with him. Oh, I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to prove to him that I'm wife material. That's what that's all about. I don't give a damn. I don't care what you do. You and your raggedy dick. Go do whatever it is that raggedy dick do. But I mean, it's not going to change nothing over here. You don't answer questions? Exactly. Jim Dog, she be asking them questions like that. Who's on your phone? Why you need to know? Are you paying the bill? If you was paying the bill, then you probably would never be able to know that because you'd be able to look on the phone provider service and see what number it was. But since you're not, I don't feel any obligation to tell you anything. It's not your business, sir. You think she says, oh, wait, let me put it up here, what she says. I think at this point, women should have learned by now. Well, no, because every year or two, new people come to this channel. And I know a lot of the stuff I say, I'm the only woman saying it. And I know my perspective is a little off on some things, but it's really how I feel. I just don't see the benefit to women for being all, caught up. And it's like you guys, when you feel that kind of loyalty and attachment to a dude, it comes with expectations. You expect a certain thing because you're giving that thing to him. You want it in return. And I'm telling you to want it. Men don't think like you do. He's thinking if I'm not married, I'm single and I'm going to do what I want to do. You need to think the same way and stop having this one-sided loyalty to men in these relationships. One-sided fidelity, one-sided commitment. It never works out. And you be sitting there with your face cracked when he's off and he got somebody else pregnant and all this other kind of stuff going on. Well, he's my boyfriend. Well, but what does that really mean, though? It doesn't mean anything. It's bad enough that even husbands be coming home with miscellaneous stray babies from around the way. I had a friend like that. Her husband made 2 babies out. The first one she stayed with him. The second one she said, nah, she divorced his ass. But, even husbands do that. So what is it that you think you should be doing with some mere boyfriend or some chump you dealing with? Please. I don't get it. Yeah, men are. A lot of more men are unemployed right now than women. And they getting SSI and food stamps and all that kind of stuff here, at least here in California they are. So I don't know about, other states. I only read the statistics for what's going on here. But yeah, there's a lot of men. Homeless, all kind of stuff be going on, living in them derelict hotels. It's awful. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this. She say face crack. That's pretty much what I wanted to say because I since the problems I can't really type that well anymore, and this hand I'm still trying to get it back strengthened and the coordination is so typing. I used to type like almost 100 words a minute, like can't do that now, and it frustrates me to try to type on the thing to respond to people. So I thought it would be easier for me and I'd be able to really, answer everybody's questions and talk about it in detail by doing this live stream. And that was the goal, to kind of, augment what the memes, the little graphic said, and respond to some of the questions that were posted on the wall underneath it to let you guys know, the full scope of how I view this issue. I think it is a real problem. And I think a lot of people have done their daughters a disservice by training them to provide loyalty and fidelity and stuff to men that they're not married to. They don't deserve that. Neither do they deserve to have children with you. Neither do they deserve to wake up and look at you every day. That's a husband privilege. You shacking up with these dudes. You buying homes with these dudes. Those are husband privileges. You buying dogs with them. You doing all this stuff with them. Those are husband privileges. So you need to make see it as a column like I do. You see it as a column like this is the boyfriend category, which you get these limited benefits, and this is the husband category. You get these other benefits, and there's a me category, which gets all the benefits. And the rest of you just gonna take what I give you. But that's kind of what I wanted to explain in a little bit more detail. Hopefully, what I've said makes sense. Do you guys have any questions before we close out? Let me see what she said here. This microphone's all in my way. That's why I'm going around here. Some states you can. Oh yeah, I saw that alienation of affection, which I don't understand that. There's no reason to sue the other person. That suit is, again, this is putting the responsibility on some other party. You sue the person who made the vows with you. If anybody, that's the person who cheated on you and ruined your marriage, not the other person. Stop, because you don't know what lies that person was told. So I'm not really about that life, that alienation of affection thing, because to me that's just another way to blame women for something. Or if it's a woman blaming somebody, blaming some other man, I don't know, whatever it is. Anyway, blaming some third party for what your mate did to hurt you. I'm not down with that. The whole focus is on accountability and being responsible for oneself. So you start blaming other people. You broke my heart. No, your husband did that when he tipped out on you and your marriage and your kids. That wasn't me. Because maybe I was the one that he got caught with, but the fact that he was so comfortable cheating, this probably did it before. And you can't prove it. Yeah, they be buying dogs, they be buying cats, they be doing all of this, everything. Yes, Robin. Yeah, that's just something I, didn't really realize until today when I was frustrated trying to type, and I could feel myself getting like agitated because it wasn't happening the way that I wanted it to. I'm trying to type my usual speed, and it just was not happening, and I could feel myself getting angry. So I'm like, okay, let me woosah for a minute and just do this as a live stream. Yeah, exactly, Giggles. You get to leave with half. Half is lovely. Anybody got any questions about it? Anything that that I didn't clarify well enough for you? Let me know. I mean, you can always, I guess, if you think of a question later, you can always ask it. Type it under the video, and I'll go back and take a look at it. You missed it, Natural Market. You missed the whole thing. You was tardy. Tardy. Just like in school. Oh, to the corner you go. She was late. Yeah, I know, Robin. Oh God, that's so hard. It's been the biggest struggle for me. It's been hard because I just don't have any patience. So it's just a miracle I've lasted as long as I have. My daddy used to make jokes about when the good Lord was giving out patience, you didn't want to wait in line to get yours. That's me. So the patience I have now is like this is light years beyond where I used to be. Oh, thank you. My head wrap. Yes, that's what I have to do when I don't use my hair. Well, I did spritz it a little bit because it was looking a little dry. Looking dry. I started taking vitamins and make sure I drink my water and doing everything, trying to get more rest and stuff. But yeah, this whole arm, and I got a cortisone shot in this joint up here because this is the shoulder that slammed into the wall, and then it slammed in that stroke video. I talked about it and slammed into the bathtub when I fell. So I've been having all kinds of problems with this shoulder right here, which affects the whole arm. So my typing, it's not really that great. Yeah, I looked out because a lot of people that have strokes, they have like the droop. I mean, I did have it a little bit, but it improved with time. So now you can't really tell. I know though because of how my body's responding, the weakness on the left side and stuff, and lack of real muscle control on this hand, and the problems in the shoulder. But other than that, I'm okay. I guess they said it takes about a year to get really completely over it. So I have months to go until March. Yeah, I do. Thank you. I'll put her comment up here. Yes, we got to get the youngsters, to know what they're doing and be smarter. So you guys don't make the same mistakes that we made. Okay, that would be ideal. That would make me happy. I'm not saying you're not gonna make some, but at least don't make the ones that we made. Make some different ones, and then come and let's talk about them. It's like, oh, girl, did that happen for real? Ooh, that sound interesting. So how did that happen? What you do? What he say? It could be that kind of conversation. So we all learn something new. But there's no reason for you to go out and make the exact same mistakes that have already been made 50 times. The only problem is that you don't have someone around you being honest and telling you. So that's where I come in. Okay. But let's see what we got going on here. I guess our next show. So the next show we got is what the fuck Tuesday? Where I didn't look through those. And then the next one we got is shoot. Oh, here we go. Yes, this one. This is our next show next Friday. We just did the first Dusty News Network show last night. It was a rousing success. Everyone's glad to be back. This is our summer programming if you're not familiar with it. We come on Friday nights and act a zip damn fool. That's what happens. People send in their memes and screenshots of crazy stuff that they see online and send it to survivingdating@gmail.com for review and possible inclusion in the show. Other than that, I guess I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday for the relationship advice show, What the Fuck Tuesday. If you want to submit a question for that, look in the show description down below. You will find a link to the submission form. Just fill it out and press the send button, and we'll take your question. Anyway, thanks you guys for participating in this pop-up. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Bye-bye.